Would you pay a monthly subscription price for your favorite video game? How about a
Yes.
DLC? Oh,
Also, yes.
you're just gonna roll the intro.
Is that it? Is that the whole thing?
No, I had a whole quip written out,
Oh my
but
God, just do it. Just do
no,
it.
I don't want to know.
Such a baby.
What's going on, everybody, and welcome to yet another episode of the Playconomics podcast, where we break down the business behind your favorite video games and give financial context for industry trends. I'm one of your hosts, Bobby Kawecki, and joined with me today, as always, on this Sunday, a little bit later than usual, the Jersey living, wow loving, shower not taken, Baja Blast chugging,
Baja blasting.
Cheeto fingered, and Baja blasted. Matt Mascari, how are you, buddy?
I'm good. I'm good. What I want from you is, because you cut me off in the middle of me asking you how you were and didn't even believe me when I asked you last week how you were. I want you to get straight into it, Bobby. I don't want a second wasted for these people. I want to know, because you kind of did an intro, you kind of didn't do an intro.
Well, I was gonna do. I had a whole intro planned, and then you stepped on it like Godzilla versus Bambi. Okay.
What's the question?
The question I'd like to pose to you today is more of a general discussion where I'd like to reach a consensus between the two of us on what is the best form of video game monetization other than direct purchase. Now, I'm not talking about...
Okay, so we're getting the $70 and then I get a full game is off the table?
Yes, but I don't think we necessarily live in that world anymore, because everything has the hook. Right? Everything in one way or another has the hook, and I kind of want to just lay them all out in front of us and see what makes the most sense. Because while, yes, your $70 direct purchase is great, it's so few and far between nowadays that we have to really look at all of the models in front of us and see what makes the most sense as a consumer. Now, Matt, you brought up WoW before I hit record on this episode.
Pretty much immediately.
What's that new expansion going to be about?
The War Within.
What?
The War Within.
Oh, do you get real tiny and you go inside like the Panda Man's body?
No, it's basically that would
be a good idea.
Yeah. They're basically saying that there's something in the planet. It's coming out. Holy shit! It's gonna be crazy.
I thought that this would be like your Civil War.
No, they did that. That was Battle for Azeroth. They did that like 3 expansions ago.
Were the Panda people the Confederates or the Union?
So you could pick either way with the pandas. So you could be Horde or Alliance with the pandas. They can do both.
Interesting.
Yep. No allegiances.
The ogres were the Confederates, I imagine.
Ogres do not exist in World of Warcraft as a playable class. Orcs do. Just go with the episode.
How do I recover from that? How do I look you in the face for the next half hour to 40 minutes and have a serious conversation with you now?
Do you want me to tell you that there's 2 different types of orcs that still aren't ogres?
Let's talk about subscription models, because WoW, I would say and argue, is probably, in one way or another, the best implementation of after point of sale monetization. Because not only do you have to pay for the subscription, you have to pay for the expansions.
You have no idea what you have to pay. The amount of things that they will... Do you want me to go down the list of all the things that you could pay real money for in World of Warcraft?
Yes, because while I have a list of pros and cons here, I'd like to hear your pros and cons as somebody who is in the trenches, inside the pandas, learning the way.
So the pros and cons of the subscription model, I think $60, $70 for their expansion is too much. They do the like premium expansion purchase now, where you could buy, like you could buy instead of a $60 game and $100 game, and get it 3 days earlier and access to the beta for $40. That's literally the only benefit.
Plus your $20 a month.
15 is the highest you can pay for the monthly. So that's if
What
you
are the
do it month to
different
month.
tiers? What do they
So
beget
you
you?
could do 1 month, 3 month, 6 months. And
But
I
it's not
think
like bronze, silver, gold.
no. So there's none of that. The big moneymaker for WoW isn't the subscription. It is like it's probably the most like throughput, but the highest dollar value are the cosmetics. So like you got
Oh,
the
we'll get
Sparkle
there. We'll
Pony,
get there. We'll get there.
cosmetics, and in-game services. So if you want your orc warrior to now be a troll warrior, $30.
So you have
And
to
you could do
pay to
that.
respec.
You have to pay to change race, or you could just make a new character. But like if you want your orc warrior to be a troll warrior, $20. You want to change your name of your character, $10. You can skip all of the leveling and get to max level, $60.
How many times have you
Change
done
your
that?
guild name.
How much money have you spent on WoW?
Not as much as you would think. If you cut out the normal everyday, if you cut out the cost of the expansion and the like monthly subscription, like how much have I spent on the extra stuff? A couple hundred,
I don't
maybe.
believe you. You're closer to a
It's not
stack.
as much as you would
You are
think.
you are creeping up on a stack.
No. On just microtransactions, no way, because I've never bought any of the cosmetics. And I think the only thing I did was a name change once or twice and a level boost, because they also give you a level boost at every expansion, so like you don't need them that often.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's very seldom that you need a level boost.
Now, as a ardent player, what is your take on this scheme? Because while the bedrock is the subscriptions, you're saying there's a couple tack-ons. We'll touch on microtransactions later on.
Yeah.
But I want to know, just as a value prop, WoW is a game going into its 20th year now, and its 14th expansion.
No shot. I think this will be like 8.
We've got Burning Crusade, we've got Lich King, we've got Cataclysm. You're shocked that I remember all of these, do you? We've got Mists of Pandaria, Battle for Azeroth,
yeah, you skipped a couple.
Shadowlands.
You skipped a couple. You skipped Warlords and Legion.
Okay. As a real fan, so did everybody else, but that's aside the point, man.
Legion was one of the best expansions.
That's not what the message boards are telling me.
It literally will. It will tell you that.
What is your take on the subscription model for games? And do you think that there are games that could benefit from them? Because I think there is a very particular subset of games that could do immaculately with a subscription product.
So, as World of Warcraft, like as it applies to World of Warcraft, or
yes, as the oldest, most established, and probably best case study for success in that price scheme.
I mean,
as somebody who's boots on the ground, what do you think about it?
I think World of Warcraft does it incredibly poor. Like, I think the amount of content you get by paying for that subscription is extremely low. I think the base game value of the $60 to the $70, completely worth it. The day-to-day content that you get once you've done the raid is extremely minimal. Like, I think in between seasons, it's really not that much different. And it's not worth basically I don't even think they release them every quarter, but you have to imagine like every quarter to 6 months, they're giving you a new raid and they reset all the loot. Like they give you a lot of time. Like if you want to dump time into something, you can do it because they reset your gear every season. So you have to completely re-gear. They give you the new raid, they do a new PvP season, they do a new dungeon season, but it really is just starting you over fresh. It's the same dungeons, it's the same classes that you're fighting in PvP. It's not like you've gotten a huge major class overhaul. The raid is different. I'll give them that. The raid is usually different, but again, that's one and done. Like you do it, and then I guess you could continue to go up the like power scaling, but most people don't do that. And then they restart you again 3 to 6 months later. It's
How,
just
if you
like
had to give
time sync. It's
a
great
grade
for the content that comes out,
for
or
just the overall implementation
I mean, I think they're
compared to all
con
the other different ways that this content is trying to extract money out of you,
from the point of view of the gamer or the company.
the gamer. I mean,
Bet.
from the company,
Uh,
it's rock solid. It's recurring
yeah, for the
revenue.
company, it's a 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
For the gamer themselves, I think the way that WoW does its pricing is like a 3 out of 10.
Interesting. Okay. Matt, while the subscription model has always been something that's been tried and true in the background, there's some
Mhm.
newcomers on the scene of funneling money out of your pocket with a Dyson vacuum. You ever hear of something called battle passes?
I have. I
See,
have done
because
that pass.
for those of you in the audience who don't know, a battle pass is a progressive unlock system that you pay for that has both a and uh, free and pay to play tier. Whereas you play more, you unlock more. And the battle pass resets every quarter or roughly about 10 to 12 weeks, as we see in Fortnite. Now, there are some pros about this. Matt, you know you love Apex Legends. Keeps you
I
coming
do.
back for more. Predictable revenue, and it's paid to win up to a certain point, right? Now, the cons are that time pressure, right? People feel like they got to play every day. And if they don't have the um, Burger King Sneak King skill, the skin in Fortnite, they feel bad.
Agreed.
Okay.
That's more
And
microtransaction than battle pass, though.
if the game
Although,
underneath the
yeah,
battle pass isn't good, I'm sure the gameplay can feel repetitive up to a certain point and monotonous.
agreed.
What do you think, as somebody who also loves himself a battle pass game? Lay it on me.
I have not participated in the Apex Battle Pass since season 8 or 9.
Are you
It's now
willing to
like
go on the
season.
sand? Are you willing to swear on some sort of religious icon to prove
Yes.
that?
Yeah. I might be wrong by like a season or two, but and with the new battle pass that they just released, I will 100% never play it because they
Why is that?
basically, so it used to be in one season of Apex, it was like a 3 month period. You would
Mm-hmm.
get one battle pass from level 1 to 100, and then it would, if you got to that, you would see the rewards for 100 to 110, and the 110 was the actual only worthwhile reward in the whole battle pass. Cost $10, 950 Apex coins, which is $10. But over the life of that battle pass, you would have earned 950 battle pass coins.
Mm-hmm.
So you bought one battle pass, and then if you completed it, you had enough
Uh,
coins to get the next one for free.
and I imagine that's no longer the case.
It it was no longer the case because basically what they did is they condensed the battle pass into two per season and split it in half, 950 each still, with 3/4 of the levels, so 3/4 of the material, and they removed the ability to pay for it with Apex coins anymore. It had to be real money. It got absolutely blasted on social media, and they put it back. But the content in the battle pass specifically for Apex Legend is awful. The skins are bad, the cosmetics are bad, everything about it sucks. There's no reason to get the battle pass for Apex Legends. The only things that are worthwhile in Apex Legends are the heirlooms and the whatever the heirloom armor sets are, like the heirloom skins.
Mm-hmm.
Outside of that, they're hot garbage, and the heirlooms are $180 per heirloom. So there's
How
no
many do you
shot.
own?
One, and I got it by random chance. Like I got it in the every Apex pack has a 1 in 500 chance to get one. I got one from that and bought it.
So, compared to something like subscriptions, how do you feel that the free to pay battle pass model sort of falls in the level of great for both companies and great for consumers? How do you sort of
I,
rank order
I
that?
mean, both are 10 out of 10 for companies. There's like almost no downside. Battle passes are extremely minimal effort. Subscription cost is actually zero effort. It's just they pay to access your game, and if they don't, they can't play it. It's ridiculous. I would give that an 11 out of 10. That is the perfect for the corporate greed. Subscription is perfect. Battle Pass, not as perfect. It doesn't auto renew like a subscription would, so you don't get the like people forget about it and now they're paying $10 a month for the rest of their lives. So you don't get that with a Battle Pass. For the gamer, I think Battle Pass is obviously better because you can opt out of it. Like you don't need the Battle Pass to play the game.
Mm-hmm.
Subscription, you need the subscription to play the game. And I think it depends really on the game on whether or not the Battle Pass or the subscription is worth it. For Apex Legends, the Battle Pass is not worth it. Fortnite, for me, it's not worth it. I don't know anybody that does the Battle Pass anymore for those
You
things.
love
I'd rather
Fortnite.
just
And
I
Fortnite
don't.
now has subscriptions.
I know I literally don't play Fortnite. I hate it. Like it is one of the games that I actively just do not like and will never play. Um, it, all of it to me is clearly a cash grab. And I think it's a necessary evil with a live service game because as you're going to have to pay people to continue to work on something, it
Mm-hmm.
needs to be generating revenue. Because eventually people stop buying the base game. And the amount of money that you get from base game sales isn't covering continued launch of or continued costs of operating and updating and even just managing the servers on those games. I don't know what they cost, but eventually there will be a point where the amount of money you made on the game isn't worth keeping it running anymore. So it's a necessary evil, but at the same time, they really need to pack some type of value into it.
Hmm.
And I think far too few companies do.
Interesting point. Matt, the third thing I want to discuss with you,
Mm-hmm.
we'll wind the clock back a little bit here. It's just good old fashioned DLC. See,
Love it.
we recently lived through what many are calling a freak event, a Thanos level event, where the best game this year is DLC. That would be Shadow
It
of the Erdtree.
very, very high likelihood it will win Game of the Year.
Now, there are pros and cons, right? It's a great way to extend the life of the game. Elden Ring came out 2 years ago, and then boom, it had this big pop. Again, it is another kind of bite at that fandom apple, which brings in more revenue. It gives players a way to maybe enter into the game at a lower price point. Elden Ring's been on sale. Maybe it was too much when you bought it. Maybe you want to spend a little bit more now and you get double the amount of content, right?
I don't think Elden Ring is on sale.
Here and there I've seen like $10 off, $15 off, but not like, half off, right? Like you'll
Yeah.
get these little things here. But it does come with some fragmentation because now if I'm playing Elden Ring for the first time, I almost feel left out if I don't play the DLC. Rightfully so, right? There is the cost accumulation thing where over time it's like, oh, like this I paid $60 for the game, I'm paying $40, I'm $100 into Elden Ring. I
So
can't even tell you how much money I've lost at work because I've just been keyed in. I sent you
yeah.
that tweet that said that Randy Orton played Elden Ring for 600 hours.
Yep.
What's your
So
take
I
on DLC, Matt?
so I think it depends on the DLC. So I think it's a huge benefit to the company in certain ways and also a huge benefit to the player, but it depends on how it's handled. So for DLC specifically, well, I break them up into two camps. Planned DLC and opportunity DLC. So if you
Hmm.
plan your game around the fact that you're going to have a DLC, that is a bad business practice. Put it in
Why?
the game or make a second one. Because then you're asking me to pay $40 for content that you know should be in the game.
Fair enough.
If you give me the scenario where with Elden Ring, and what I'm assuming happened was they made so much and put so much into that game that there was cut content because they strictly could not put that much either into the game, or they didn't have time to fully flesh out the game. So they made a completely new game and added I'm at 50 hours of content into the DLC.
It's fantastic. It's so goddamn good.
It's awesome. It's enough for me to say $40 was worth it.
It would even low. I would say it was even low.
Yes. The issue is where the game is not finished. And then if you had taken Elden Ring and never played the DLC, you'd be missing out on more Elden Ring, but you wouldn't have missed out on Elden Ring. If that makes sense. Like,
makes perfect sense.
You're getting the full experience in the game. DLC should be like, we knew this was a banger and we completed this story, but there's still more we could have done and there was more we wanted to do, so here it is. I also think there's a fine line between what's in a DLC and should have just been a second game.
Give me an example.
So should Shadow of the Erdtree have just been Elden Ring 2? And I think no, because I think it really, and the more you get into like the lore and what's discussed in Elden Ring and the story behind Shadow of the Erdtree, it is a clear next logical step of the Elden Ring game experience. Like, the one directly led to another in such a smooth transition that it doesn't need the second, like a full Elden Ring 2. Elden Ring 2 could happen, but I do think it would be vastly different and not 100% tied to the original location.
Okay. Now, I think I'm in agreement with you there. Can you name me some examples where you think DLC failed, maybe? Or didn't live up to the price tag or something like that?
It's hard because those are the DLC that I don't play, so I have no interest in them. Like, it's very difficult for me to get DLC for a game if it's not just absolutely awesome. Oh, perfect. Tales of Arise.
Ooh, did not see you bringing that bad boy back up.
Played it, beat the original game. DLC didn't look like it added anywhere near enough to the game for me to warrant another $40 purchase. And I also think that a bit of the is the DLC worth it is how good was the base game. Starfield's DLC could give a shit about because I didn't like Starfield.
But that was your game of the year, man. That was...
It should have been. It should have been the game of the year, and they botched it. They gave me a average Bethesda experience at best, and it could have been better. Skyrim's DLC, awesome. However, should have been more. I would give that like a B+. Because, like, in totality, if you take all of the DLCs for Skyrim, really cool. Or you could have just played any of the mods and they were significantly better. And if random people on the internet could get a better DLC than your company that developed the game could, maybe your DLC wasn't up to it.
Okay. Matt, but you know what? I think maybe you like... You strike me as a man of chance. You strike me as a man of opportunity. You strike me as someone...
Loot boxes for
who
DLC.
Loves loot boxes. So let's talk about loot boxes, Matt. Okay.
What about them?
Because they're a high revenue potential for companies, right? There's the excitement factor to it. You get that randomness. It's not gambling. It's not gambling.
Can we just be clear? Like, between me and you and the audience, it's gambling. Like, it's gambling. Just is. You are putting something in and getting random thing back. The only reason it's not just straight gambling is because they're not giving you physical money back. It is just absolute random chance that you are paying for. which has always and will always be gambling.
But tell me about your experience with loot boxes, Matt, because I'm taking you through the circles of hell of video game
Yeah.
monetization here.
Loot boxes are less appealing to me than other things because I don't necessarily enjoy the rewards of loot boxes. And I'm also in a financial place where if most of the time when the loot boxes have something I want in it, I will pay. Because, like, the idea of a loot box is the skin costs $20. The loot box costs $1. I
Mm-hmm.
could get it and get the the $20 skin for $1, but I'm just going to pay the $20 for the skin that I want. I don't do the chance. I don't waste money on video games. Loot boxes are the least amount that I've spent on video games was in loot boxes.
Okay, so you would probably rank those last.
For who? The gamer or the company?
Both.
The company, I would do it number 2 behind subscriptions because you're leveraging existing game content for random chance. Like, you're taking skins that are physically in the game and are being purchased through microtransactions. You're introducing additional scarcity, additional chance for them not to get it, and still making money off it. And you're leveraging completely existing assets. It's almost as good as subscriptions. It's just that you have to first make whatever they're buying from the loot box to then put in the loot box. Whereas a subscription, as long as you want to play the game, you have to pay for it. So the subscription still wins out, company-wise.
So I think we're in agreement there. And I want to put a pin because I think that the subscription thing, there is a perfect balance of it, much like there was a perfect balance with subscription stuff like Netflix and Hulu, right? Like, you can go too far with it and then you're back at cable. But for a certain subset of single offer games, what I think subscription does, not subscription platforms in the Netflix style, but subscription platforms in the single game, it gives companies a reliable revenue model to continue to build out a product without having to worry on the sale of each individual one.
So
Why
let me
is
give you
Madden not a subscription? It's the same game every year. Why is 2K not a subscription?
because so let me give you an example of a game that does subscriptions correct, in my
Mm-hmm.
opinion, versus something that versus why Madden and MLB and all of the sports games don't have subscriptions. So the
Mm-hmm.
subscriptions I think are done well are like Minecraft
Okay.
or like a Roblox level subscription where you're getting into the actually I don't back to the Minecraft specifically. You can pay to access a server in Minecraft that is a completely dedicated world, and it is essentially the same experience as you playing, but there's additional things in that game space, and other of your friends can access it. It's almost similar to like being able to play online.
Mm-hmm.
Those I'm fine with. So I think that, and you pay monthly for it. So you get the server, you get the ability to play on that server, and you pay like $3 to $10 a month or something for access to it.
Okay.
That I understand. The reason why Madden doesn't do it, even though it should, because all you're doing is essentially updating rosters, is because they can charge you more by giving you the game weekly or every
Yearly.
year instead of charging you monthly. And I think the reason really would be people would play Madden less.
Hmm.
And then do you pay $60 and then you get the subscription for the year? Or is it
Yes.
only subscription based?
I would say monthly. I mean, at $15 a month, you're already higher than you would
No,
pay.
agreed.
You
Agreed.
know?
But I'm saying, like, do you have to buy the game and then subscription to access it like World of Warcraft, or it's completely subscription based?
I believe completely subscription based.
I don't think so. I don't think the value of one video game will ever have a full price subscription that's worthwhile. Like Madden itself is not worth $15 a month. It's just not.
But you're saying that as somebody who plays the Mists of
I'm
Pandaria.
No, I'm telling you, it's like subscriptions are not worth it for one game. However, I love that game and I will play it and I will pay the $15 for it. I think it is a bad business practice because it is in you should not be doing that. I'm not getting $15 a month worth of video game content. However, because of the online aspect of it, because of the like additional, like you could put more time into it and get enough out of it to make it worth your $15. Sure. So
Mm-hmm.
I get it a little bit more for World of Warcraft. Madden does not seem like it would be worth it. Just because and maybe it's just my ignorance of I don't know what actually happens in a Madden video game. Like
You
they've
play
never
football.
been my
It's a
thing.
football game where
No,
football
but
is.
like yeah, but like is it just you playing against the computer or is it you playing against other people online? Is that it? Or is there like campaigns and
There's like seasons, and you can go into like manager mode and stuff like that.
so
Yeah.
yeah, then maybe it is worth it. But I think if they could consolidate those bad boys together and you get like a sports package and you get like if they were to ever go under like a Game Pass or a PlayStation Now or some type of subscription thing similar to like Hulu, you get
Mm-hmm.
Hulu Live TV, it would be a really good subset where you
Interesting.
can get all of the sports packages. Like you pay $30 a month for the sports packages and you
Mm-hmm.
get MLB hockey, you get football, you get baseball, you get basketball all in that package, then you got me for it. But I think if you started charging people $15 a month for Madden, they
That'd
would
be blood in the streets.
no, they would get it for the first couple like for the first month or two and then stop playing it.
But they'd still be paying.
No, I think they would can't like
Oh,
I think you would yeah, like I think yes, there's obviously some of the attrition where it's just you forgot to get rid of it, but I do think that less people would play Madden if it was a subscription.
Interesting. Matt, that's all I've got for you on this beautiful Sunday. I just want to have a general conversation about what we thought was best. I'm of the mind that I think DLC is probably the thing that is the way to make enough money to fund future products without having the IP get damaged or stale.
Yes, and I guess like you're framing it as in what's the best for gamers that also allows for additional money to come out of the game.
Correct.
Then yeah, I would definitely argue DLC is the best because I think even the worst DLC is more content than the best battle pass.
Ooh, there's the clip right there.
Love it.
There's
Because
the
no matter
clip
what, at
right there.
least the DLC is like full new content. Battle passes are mainly just cosmetics and bullshit like that.
Matt, I'm glad we were able to take this time together today. Glad we were able to decide, understand, figure out, discuss, disseminate, and discover together what we think the best video game monetization strategy is. But
if you like what you heard here, like this video, subscribe, and make sure you let us know in the comments below.
I was so good.
No,
so restrained.
I'm tired of you not wanting our channel to grow.
I wrote charts. There's a chart. I just
why don't you want our channel? Let me know in the comments below. Do you want this channel to grow? Because Bobby clearly doesn't, because he refuses to at any point be like, hey, maybe like our video, subscribe and hit that notification bell.
If you like what you hear and you want to hear more, leave us a good review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify.
Great.
I've said that for years.
2% of our audience listens to us on Spotify.
I'm going to slam my MacBook closed now, Matthew. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your Sunday.
And you know what I want you to do while you slam your laptop closed? I want you to game happily. I'll see you next week.